live. All right. Hello, everyone. Jen Wells here. I am the co-founder and marketing director of BrandSwan. We are here to learn how to use Canva. And the reason I wanted to do this workshop is because I've had quite a few people ask me how to get the best use out of their Canva accounts. They've heard of the tool, and if you haven't, that's okay. Canva is basically graphic design without any design background. It is really easy to use. It's quick to get started. It lets you do all kinds of things that the Adobe tools just don't let you do. So I would say of all the tools that you could use to make graphics for yourself, it's got one of the shortest learning curves for you. So that's why we want to talk about Canva today. Just a quick reminder for those tuning in on Facebook, the Q&A is going to be private. It's going to be in the Zoom. There is still time to join. The link is in the Facebook event, so feel free to join us that way. All right, so for everyone in this room, I'm going to go ahead and get started and share my screen. All right, so Canva, I made a brand new account just for today's tutorial because I wanted to show you something that hadn't been used and didn't have things set up already. If you are working with a free Canva account, some of the features we're going to talk about today are not available, but it's still a really flexible tool, and I'm going to show you how to kind of cheat and make your own brand style guide. So just a quick overview. When you come into Canva, it's pretty clean. Over here in the top right is where you create a new design. One of the reasons that I recommend Canva to people just getting started with design is especially for social media marketing. Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn, they all have different preferred sizes for everything, whether it's a header graphic or it's a post, and they constantly change what the preferred dimensions are. So you do not have to guess, you do not have to look it up and try to find the most recent article. You can just come here and you can say, okay, I want a Facebook post. Oh, look, there's a post, there's a cover image, there's an ad size, like they have everything in here. So, okay, we'll go ahead and make a Facebook cover. Once you've created your file, whatever size it's going to be, whatever it's for, these are the different elements over here. So uploads is going to be the files that you need to upload. So like your company logo, if you have any graphics or any brand standards, or just things that you want to use that are not in Canva. But if you don't have your own stock photos, that's okay, because Canva has this entire library that you can use. A lot of these are free, which is kind of insane. You're just thinking about the sheer value, you know, like this is a free program that's giving you free stock photos. It also gives you free fonts and free graphic design elements. Like the amount of value you get with the free account is crazy. So if you come over here, you'll see all of the different options. I don't know who, let's see, who's here. We've got Serve Pro. So why don't we do, I don't know, Burned Home for our disaster recovery. Oh, okay. And so you'll notice that this popped up and it has those grids. Not all of the elements are free. Some of them are with the Pro account only. So there's limitations, but there are a lot of things that are free. And you can search, let's see, and just look for the images that don't have that little crown in the corner. So you might not find exactly what you're looking for, but there are a lot of different things in here. Next thing over here is elements. So this library can be a little overwhelming, but the basics are all right here on the first tab, whether that's lines, shapes. The frames are for photos. So we could drop a photo in here and it would be whatever shape they have. The great thing about Canva is everything is drag and drop. So it's really easy to get started. But, okay, so we've dragged and dropped. We are, you know, putting things in here. It doesn't look very good, does it? So if you are not the kind of person who can just kind of put things together, you know, you don't necessarily have a design eye, they also have templates. And that is that first option way up here. So maybe we want to make this Facebook header specific to the holidays, right? So let's just say holiday, see what comes up. I was going to see if you could make sure that there's filters in the Pro account so that you can look for specific things. It looks like they don't have them here. Anyway, so, okay, maybe we want to start with this template. And then we want to change the fonts or change the images around. So the template saves you a ton of time. Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm just going to finish running through the options over here, and then I'll show you how you can make graphics that aren't just random, but that actually fit your brand. So for the font, they have some pre-made things as well, and you can search and you can find like different layouts, or you can set your main fonts for your brand, and then those will populate up here. That is a pro feature that I will show you guys in a little bit. If you just want to edit fonts in here, that's right up here. And then also up here are all of the editing options for whichever item you have selected. So right now I have the fonts selected, and it's showing me the fonts, the size, the color, alignment, bullets. You can change capitalization. And then they've got different effects, but I probably won't go too far into that because most of the time I don't think those are necessary. There's also a few options over here. If you wanted to line these things up, you could position them so that way they're all centered vertically, and then I want them distributed horizontally. One of the things that I tell people, they think graphic design is this super creative, artsy thing. Half of the time making something look good is just fixing the alignment, making sure that all of the elements are spaced evenly, that they all line up with something. You need to have lots of space around things, lots of like clear page margins, things like that. So if you can't figure out why your design doesn't look good, check the alignment. I want to make sure I'm checking the chat in case you guys need me to slow down or if I miss anything that you want to hear about. Yeah, so again, if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. Okay, so going back down through here, did you guys know that you can do video in Canva? This is, I don't know how new it is, but it's new to me. And I think this just absolutely blew my mind because at this point, why are we paying for 5 different design tools when Canva can do JPEGs, PNGs, it can do PDFs, it can do videos, it can do animated GIFs, it can do just about anything. They've got stock video that you can drop in. So if you wanted to save a video file, maybe you put this here, and then on the next slide, you would put maybe your recorded video. So say, you know, maybe I have like an introduction to my business, but I want to start with something artsy, or I want to start with aerial photography, something like that. You would just make these different slides here, and then it will output the video with those things in order. Now, I will give the caveat that, you know, it's not as robust as a typical video editing tool, but the fact that it does video at all is absolutely amazing. Like if for the typical small business just trying to get content created for social media, I think you can use Canva for just about everything you need. They also have print. So say you wanted a flyer, and we'll just do typical flyer dimensions 8.5 by 11 for something that you want to print at home. For print, you would probably want to turn on the ruler and the margins so that you're not getting things outside of the printable area on the page. If you're doing something that you're going to send to a professional printer with the bleed, the color that extends the edge, you can even turn that on and make sure that your images are going all the way out. And then when you're ready to order this, they actually have a printing option. And I'm not sure which printer they send that to, but I'm guessing it's probably Vistaprint. So yes, you can print through Canva. You can download it as a PDF. You can choose to do crop marks and bleed. This depends which printer you choose. Our other designs that we created, we can save it as a video. There's tons of different formats over here. We can save it as a GIF. If we decide we don't want the video at all, we just want a PNG or a JPEG, we can do that too. Let's see. I think that's pretty much everything for editing within the canvas. So if you guys have questions about how to use that, we can go into that in the end. I'm going to show you how to customize these templates by using a cheat sheet brand kit. So if you're on the free account and you're not ready to pay for the pro account, although based on all these features, you should. Like if you buy this, you probably will not need any other design or editing tools. And so this sample design that I made, this is how you're going to make your brand kit if you have the freebie account. You're going to get your color codes. And I know some of the people in here are part of like a national company or organization. They will have brand guides somewhere online for you that will have your color codes and your fonts. So you're going to come into, you're going to make a template, right? And we'll save it. We'll say, you know, this is the tutorial brand kit. And then you're just going to make boxes. And you're going to save them to your color codes. So you'll click over here. If you know the exact hex color code, you can put it in there. If you're making this up as you go, you know, if you're a new business or if you're doing this for personal use, then maybe you just play around and you find colors that you like, but get your colors on one particular graphic so that you can be consistent across the board as you're making things. If you're doing anything as part of an organization or a business, you're going to want that extra professionalism of having the graphics look like they go together. Once you have this, you can just copy this into any other file that you're working on. And then what it's going to do, when you look at the colors, it's going to show you all the colors that are in this document. So, okay, I don't have to go back and forth between the two to find that color code again. Now that color code is in here. So I can make everything in here match except that photo. And maybe I'll make that be the gray. So now that's got my colors on it. And then maybe I don't like this thing and I want a different image. Make it so, I don't know. I can turn that, set it up on the side, and then the fonts. So again, let's see, the fonts that I have in this document are going to show up at the top. But if you're not sure which one is which, you can also just click on them here, and then that'll tell you right up there the name of the font. So in this case, it's that. Oh, that looks bad. That is all caps, that's why. And if you come up here, it will go back and forth between lowercase and capital. And actually something new that they added is this paintbrush. So that's another thing you could do too, is copy the style and then just paste it over here, which is pretty slick. So there, that's a template, and then it's customized. And that's not a great example because it's not beautiful, but I think you guys probably get the idea. And I think that's everything I want to show you with the freebie account. So now I'm going to show you the premium account and what makes those features so powerful. I'm going to have to log out and log back into the BrandSwan account. So you're going to see behind the scenes with BrandSwan and how fancy we get with our Canva account. I didn't want to start here because I thought it might be a little overwhelming. We have a lot of stuff, but let's start with the brand kit because that was what I was just showing you guys the cheat sheet way to do. The brand kit lets you save your logo. So it knows which one is your logo file. It lets you save your brand fonts. You can upload as many fonts as you want. So if you have a custom font that's not offered in their library, that's what you would do here. Just upload that font file. You can save as many colors as you want to a palette. You can make multiple palettes. So you can see we have a bunch of our clients over here. These are all the people that we work on their stuff in Canva. We never have to guess at the color codes. We have them all saved. As a, let's see, we'll just create something new. Oh, actually, let me show you some of the templates that we have. So this is our tips series. And when I say a template, we way back when, there's probably one that says, you know, text goes here. So originally this probably said Tuesday tips, text goes here, and then that always stays the same. So these are the elements of the template that always stay the same. Whenever we want to make graphics for our next month of social media, we just come into this template file. This up here is duplicate the page. Okay, now we have a copy of the page. We can put the new tip in here. Maybe we'll do 3 in a row, right? We already have the copy written. And then we download it in whatever file format we need. Maybe it's PNG. Okay, I want page 2, 3, and 4. Those are the new ones for this month. Done. We don't need a transparent background, but you could do that. And then download. And that will save the files. So I know the title of this workshop said make a beautiful on-brand graphic in 10 minutes. I'm going to say it probably takes us less than 10 minutes. It probably takes us a minute or 2, but you do have to do some homework first. You have to set things up so that it's ready to go. And I feel like that's the really, you know, it's the unsexy part of this, right? Like, oh, I have to prepare for this. I have to do work. But I mean, that's the case anywhere, right? Like set it up once and then you're ready to go and then you're going to be able to save things. So, okay, what kind of templates should you set up? This is where you get into more of your content marketing. Do you have certain trends, certain types of content that you do? We like doing tips. That's kind of just generally, you know, it's a good way to show off your expertise. They tend to do pretty well on Instagram. Quotes is another one. Testimonials, introducing team members, things like that. If you have 2 or 3 categories you know that you're going to post every week, make a template for that. And then every month when you need to do your content, you use those 3 templates, you make a new slide, you put in the new information, and then you're done. And that's, you know, your monthly marketing just done quickly. I have a question. How do you make your logo transparent on documents? I don't know if that's a Canva question. Nicole, I will answer that once we get through the tutorial. So just remind me once we turn off the live stream. Okay, one of the other features in here that I really wanted to focus on for the Pro is the resizing option. So you make a graphic and you like it, and now you have to resize it for, you know, you've got an Instagram graphic, you need it for Facebook, you need it for LinkedIn, you need it for Twitter. Recreating those graphics 4 times is going to be a huge pain in the butt, but you do not have to do that. I can come over here and say, okay, I want to resize this for Twitter. Twitter post, copy and resize. And it will do its best to take my page elements and make them fit the new size. It doesn't always do a great job. Like for this, I would probably rearrange a little bit. But it saves you so much time getting started. And then going back to what I said about the fact that Canva keeps up to date with all of the social media sizing standards, because they do change really frequently, especially Facebook. Keeping up with Facebook is darn near impossible. So I don't even try anymore. Canva will do it for me. I don't have to know the dimensions. I know that Canva knows it. Okay, here's the next thing that you need to know about the Pro account. Not only can you save your images and then go post them somewhere else, you can, oh, as soon as I find this, post it directly on social media right from Canva. So if you integrate your social media accounts, like all you have to do is connect them. It'll ask for the login information for your Twitter, for your Instagram, for what, well, maybe not Instagram, for your Twitter, for your Facebook. Then those will pop up over here in this top right bar. These are the different ways that you can share, right? I can send it via email, Twitter, Facebook page. I can save it directly to our Google Drive, which I've done. Oh my goodness, there's so many options. Pinterest, I don't know if too many people use Pinterest anymore, but that could be a really good one. So for this, let's say I'm going to put this on Twitter. I want to save, or I want to share page 4. And then this is where the caption would go. So publish now or schedule. So Canva, which it still blows my mind, in addition to being a graphic design tool and a video editor, it is working on social media scheduling features. If you are like a marketing agency or you have a big marketing department and you want to check your analytics, maybe this doesn't make sense for you. But for small organizations that are just trying to get their stuff posted, yes, use this. Don't pay for 3 different tools. Just get Canva Pro, use the scheduling feature, and then, be done with it. You don't have to go back and forth. You can just do it right here. Content planner is where I can see what I have scheduled and where I can make sure that that post is not actually going to go out. So it says, oh, here's the post that you have scheduled. And it's going to go to Twitter. You know what? I want to add another one, or I think I can copy this. Make a copy. Oh, you know what? That's the whole, sorry. I have not used this a ton because we do use our own separate tool with analytics. I was hoping there was a way to also share. Yes. Okay. So it's shared to Twitter. I also want to share it to Facebook. Save and schedule. And I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to change my settings. But you get the idea. Like, you schedule something once and then you can share it to the rest of your social media networks. So this is what I tell people is so incredibly powerful about Canva. They are trying to do, everything. They enable you to do just about everything. Let's look at the folder system real quick. This one seems kind of silly, but this is actually a pro feature. With the free accounts, you don't get to organize your files as well. So if you're working with a lot of different organizations or lots of different types of content, then this is where pro will really be in handy, because you can make folders and you can separate things out. You guys know how folders work, so I'm not going to go through that. And then I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that I talked about video and I talked about how exciting that is. There is a limitation to that, and Kelsey can attest to this. They don't do very long videos yet. So these workshops that we've been doing for BrandSwan, they typically run about half an hour. They won't take that half-hour file. I think they'd probably do a 10 to 15-minute video. So if you're doing short videos, you might be able to edit them in here, but we haven't got a chance to play around with the video editing system so far. And that is actually all that I have for you guys today. So I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream and we can get into the Q&A. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in on Facebook. Next time, if you want to participate in the Q&A, make sure that you join us on Zoom. We're trying to make these more accessible. We're moving the action over to Zoom, where we know everyone can get in. But yeah, we'll see you next week. We have a workshop planned with TJ Everhart about annual planning, since we're coming up on the end of the year. All right, thanks everyone. Ending.